Hi everybody, I'm Tony Wilson here with my good friend and co-host Adrian Wright, and this is the Supernatural and Beyond. Okay, I'm really excited about this particular episode that we're going to be doing. We're going to be covering a lot of material very quickly. Just want to let you know that as researchers, we use a variety of research materials, including, the internet, different books. And we want to go ahead and just kind of give you guys a little bit of a background as to what we're using so that you too can go and do a little bit of research of your own. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to do research on your own. We don't know everything. We've made mistakes, and we look for the input for people to say, hey, this is a good thing. Hey, this is not as accurate as what I've discovered. We want to encourage interaction with everybody on this particular channel.
Yes.
So what we want to do, we want to start out with our main source of research information, which is the Bible. Generally the Bible is referred to as the King James Version, but there are many different variations and translations of the Bible. One of the things that I have discovered is that the Bible does not give us every detail, but there are other books that were written in the same time period during different cultures that give more insight and understanding. One of the other things is that with the Bible, people call it this very holy and sacred book, right, and they don't look at it as reference material, because it's just as old as the Babylonian, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, just as old, if not older.
Well, a lot of historians too, they actually use the Bible as an actual history reference.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
It has great historical value, and even people that don't believe in a creator, they have gone and tried to disprove stuff found in the Bible, only to be like, wow, this is actually
accurate.
Like the Exodus was actually found. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, one of the things that I like is the History Channel. They do ancient aliens and other ancient civilizations, and they always reference the Bible. So that being said, the main source of my extra biblical reading, I take the Bible as canon. It's the baseline by which I judge everything else.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I don't understand, but there's a lot of things that I do. And one of the primary books that I've been using, and I'm going to just show this example right here. This is Genesis and the Synchronized, Biblically-Endorsed, Extra Biblical Text. And it
looks like a good book.
Yeah, it is.
Very thick.
Yeah, lots of pictures and all that other kind of good stuff in this one. One of the things that it does, it compares the book of Genesis, which is in the Bible, with the book of Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees. And you've been doing some research on that. And
yeah, right. So the book that I've actually been using is right here. It's called The Books of Enoch. And so there's a few different books. It's by Joseph B. Lumpkin. Very good book. I do recommend it. It does contain other books in here, like segments from the Book of Giants, of course, Enoch, Jubilees, Jasher, and even some parts from Adam and Eve, the first book and second book of Adam and Eve. And that's one of my books that I've used too. I also have an app on my phone. It's a free app on your phone. It's in the Google Play Store. I believe it's also on the Apple Store. I haven't checked with the Apple Store. I use Android, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the links can be found. You can Google the free books if you're into actually wanting to read them. And we do suggest, like Tony said, please do your own research. Please check into this. But yeah, so the same books pretty much. I've been using Genesis, of course, the canonized scripture.
Canonized.
I actually found some interesting stuff in the book of the Giants, which was interesting. And before doing research on this, I didn't even know there was a book of the Giants, so I learned something new. Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher. So some of the interesting stuff that I've noticed is, Enoch, Genesis, Jasher, Jubilees, they kind of all flow in.
They all connect, yeah.
Yeah.
Different details.
Spots.
Yes, exactly.
So what I've found is Genesis kind of gives you like the summary.
Yeah, the baseline. That's like, my new word. Baseline.
Okay, like the baseline. And then like you kind of want to know more details. Like what happened with Cain and Abel. What happened when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden. What happened, you know, when some of these books flow, like the first book of Adam and Eve, the second book of Adam and Eve, and then Jasher kind of picks up there and starts talking more and more. And then Jubilees is just kind of like goes in with the flow. And then the same thing with the book of Enoch, you know, they just kind of all start tying in.
They all start to connect because
and give more details.
Give more details, because what I have discovered is that, well, let me just say this first. When I first started doing my own research,
Right.
I was a little leery about using extra canonical books.
Right, me too.
I was like, I don't know. But as I started to study and started to research, especially when I started looking into other languages,
Yes.
you know, Hebrew, Greek, and then all of a sudden, like you were just saying, all of the books started working together. There was enough similarities.
Yeah.
Once again, the canonized scriptures is my particular baseline. However, now that I'm doing more research in these other books, there's so much synchronicity here that it's just amazing how all those little details, and it's not contradicting what I have learned in, you know, Sunday school and church.
Yeah.
It's actually
Adding to it.
amplifying and enhancing it. Yeah, it's just amazing how that worked out.
Yeah, so I actually did some research on, like, you know, looking up these books and finding out more details about when they were written, how they were written, and whatever.
So did I.
Right?
So did I.
So what I found with, like, the first book and the second book of Adam and Eve, they were part of something called the pseudepigrapha.
Pseudepigrapha.
Right, which is a humongous word, meaning it's like the Jewish fables or Jewish, like, fictional work that people believe are fictional. So I kind of looked more deeper into it and kind of found some references that are only in that book that prophesy the resurrection, the birth, and the death of the Messiah.
Right.
And it's only found in theirs. It's not found in the law. It's not found in the prophets. It's not found in the canonized scripture or any of the extracurricular scripture. And it says that this book, that the text that they found from the first book of Adam and Eve was written about 200, 300 BC.
Okay.
So it was you know, passed from generation to generation since then, and it was not found in the Dead Sea Scrolls from what I could find. But the book of Enoch, however, was.
Yeah, good point. One of the things, I have a bit of a Hebraic background, been to Israel, want to go back. Lots of Jewish/Hebraic friends.
Right.
I attended some Messianic congregations, which gave me a completely different perspective on, you know, the scriptures and so forth. And one of the things that I discovered was, like you said, the Dead Sea Scrolls, you know, at Qumran.
Yeah.
And those came about, those discoveries happened, and depending on what source you check, between 1946 and 1948.
Yes.
And what the Dead Sea Scrolls are, for those of you who are not familiar with the Dead Sea Scrolls, it was actual scrolls of the Torah, the Tanakh, that were actually preserved in caves.
Yes.
And one of the things that they found in was fragments of the book of Enoch.
Tony, that's very interesting. Like our video, subscribe, leave a comment, and follow us next time here on the Supernatural and Beyond.